Homer had just bought a large mansion. Marge couldn't believe how cheap it was. At that moment, she hadn't even noticed that a book was floating in the air by itself. Homer still thought he'd gotten a great bargain. Suddenly, a book flew up and struck Lisa. Lisa thought Bart had done it. The house actually made a sound. Homer thought it was just an echo. At that moment, bloodstains appeared on the kitchen wall. However, when Marge came in, she didn't notice anything unusual. She only discovered an unidentified object in the corner. Lisa thought it was a vortex, a doorway to another dimension. Seeing this, Homer immediately threw an orange into the vortex. Soon after, a note was thrown out from the vortex.
Quit throwing your garbage into our dimension.
At that moment, Bart was inexplicably bound by ropes. Maggie was also floating in the air. The house kept telling the Simpson family to get out. Lisa felt the house was haunted. Upon hearing this, Marge immediately told the children to get dressed and leave. The next second, their clothes flew over by themselves. However, Homer tried to dissuade Marge from leaving. He thought it was normal for an old house like this to have some problems, but Marge refused to live in a haunted house just to save a few dollars. Homer thought Marge was being too stubborn, and besides, they weren't saving just a few dollars, but tens of thousands. Just then, Homer floated up to the ceiling.
Oh, it's a straight line ceiling! Tell you what, let's sleep on it, okay?
Alright. If anything happens...
What could happen?
Late at night, Bart's room was eerie, and a voice kept telling Bart to kill the others. The same thing was happening in Lisa's room. To their surprise, she even pulled out a butcher's knife from the drawer. Homer also took out a bedroom holding an axe. However, they all held their knives and looked at each other with malicious intent. Knives in their hands. Even Maggie had a knife clenched between her teeth.
Die, everybody die.
They held their knives and stared at each other with evil looks on their faces. Just then, Marge heard the commotion from the kitchen. She walked out and was startled by what she saw. She immediately ordered everyone to put down their knives at once. Marge decided they couldn't stay in this house and had to leave immediately. No matter what Homer said, she wouldn't agree to stay anymore. At that moment, Lisa discovered a graveyard in the basement.
An ancient Indian what?
Homer immediately called the real estate agent who sold them the house. He questioned the agent about why they hadn't told him the house had a graveyard.
He said he mentioned it 5 or 6 times.
Let's go, children.
Oh, gee, Marge.
Homer?
You will die. You will die slowly. Your stomach will swell. Your intestines will writhe.
Marge couldn't take it anymore. She directly cursed at the house and even declared that this was their house and they weren't going anywhere. So Marge asked the house to get used to living with them from now on. The house said it would think about it. After the Simpson family went outside, the house emitted a dazzling light and then self-destructed.